ready?
Situate his little shirt for him.
Woo! Ha-ha! Alright. Woo! Ha ha! Late LK at OneYoungsta, hold it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, coming with another wonderful episode of That's Right, Loungin. We are here, we are chilling, having a wonderful time, enjoying y'all sunshiny faces. But I'm not alone. It is me, NERDSoulite, and Lisa. Say what's up.
Hey, y'all.
Man, it's a good day. It's a good day. Big shout out to 133 Art. Big shout out to Legends Press. Together, we are bringing you the Rent Party right here on May 30th. You just heard a little bit of the beats of the break. We will be having black comics, hip hop, dopeness. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff that, like, yo, I'm excited for y'all to hear. I'm excited for y'all to get into. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, when y'all hear it, it gonna be heard. But nah, for real, we're gonna have some panels. Dope people like Sebastian Jones from Stranger Comics, Niobe. We'll have the Blurred Girl. We'll have Brandon Easton, Hannibal Taboo, Ninja Yo-Yo from cosplay. Dad, we're gonna have a pretty good. We're gonna have a ton of dope people. Solar Gray from Back in the Dead Productions. Whole bunch of cool folks. So make sure to slide through. It'll be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's right. So don't be Pacific, be Pacific. And with that said, we got some good news to start with.
You want to start with good news?
Yes, we got some good news to start with. I did want to give a shout out to the chat. We got Alan Lewis in the house. Shot by Nolan in the house. Booksworthy in the house. So we got some folks in here. What's up to y'all? Good to see y'all sunshiny faces. But the good news, please.
Okay, so an update on the Breonna Taylor case.
Yeah.
So the good news is her boyfriend, and I want to make sure I have his name right, Kenneth Walker, charges have been dismissed against him. They were, of course, trying to charge him with attempted murder for shooting someone in the leg.
Yeah.
Go figure. But anyway, they were trying to charge him with attempted murder of the police officer that he shot when those officers came into his home. So that is good news.
So yes, thank God. They did make a note of possibly them trying to get technical and come back. But for the most part, everything's cool for now. He's able to, you know, go home. Don't nobody bother him because he's got a lot to deal with his, you know, his partner, his loved one being gone.
Right. Also, the FBI is now investigating Breonna Taylor's case. So that's actually a good thing.
Yes.
So we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. And Alan Lewis, I haven't heard about that Doja Cat stuff, but honestly, unless it's relevant to like the stuff I cover, I usually leave Doja Cat and all them alone. Unless there's something to learn from it. Like Meg Thee Stallion and her contract stuff. But controversy, the regular stuff that they be doing, I kind of leave them alone a little bit. But that's some good news. Still support this brother. He still needs resources because I'm sure that there will possibly be some kind of civil case towards him, or he may want to press against the police department for that wrongful invasion or shooting or whatever, you know what I'm saying, where they murdered his girl. So, you know, just continue to support the brother. The brother needs resources. There is a GoFundMe for him. So yeah, support. Therese in the house. What up? So we wanted to take it light this week, but there were some interesting things on Netflix. Which one did you want to cover first? Did you want to cover?
Let's talk about Cyntoia Brown.
Okay. So bring up, you know, you go in and bring up Cyntoia Brown. and then I'll follow through on you.
Okay, so we love Netflix. Let's just start there. We watch a lot of stuff on Netflix. That's kind of our go-to.
True that.
And so I had seen, scrolling through, I'd seen that they had up a documentary about Cyntoia Brown. If anyone isn't familiar with her, she was a young lady in, I believe, 2004, who was arrested at 16 years old. She was arrested for murder. She murdered a man who had picked her up and brought her home, she was prostituting. And it was a man who picked her up and brought her home, and she became, a little antsy and thought that he was going to kill her. So she was like, I'll kill you first, which is what she did. And she was charged with first-degree murder. She was given 51 years. She was sent into adult prison. Yeah. And in the middle of all of this, she had people that actually kind of rallied behind her and was trying to get her out. She ended up serving a total of, I believe it was 12 years, and she was granted clemency. And so this was a documentary about her whole her whole experience and what she had been through, and about the team that was really behind her, and it kind of went into her life. Her childhood, and it was just sad, because it was issues with her mom, issues with her grandmother, and it seemed to be, rape and violence and all of these things that kind of went from generation to generation. So it was a very interesting documentary about her life. So yeah.
There were a couple of things I wanted to touch on. With this, they talked about how she had alcohol fetal syndrome, I believe. But something where, like, alcohol, when your mother drinks a lot of alcohol, it affects the fetus, it affects the baby. And we get into her mother and grandmother a little bit, and you get to see that there are generations and generations of just pain, harm, molestation, sexual violence, stuff like that, kind of like rooted, and it just seems to be a cycle of so many young girls that are just forgotten. Yeah. And it just really hit me like, man, her grandmother went through this, her mom went through this, she's going through this. How can you break this cycle, when you're in these type of surroundings, when your mom's coming up poor, you're coming up poor, they coming up poor, you know what I'm saying? And the men that prey on these young girls, like her mother was talking about, between 7 and 10 or so, where he had molested her.
A family member of a neighbor. Yeah. But her mother had pretty much, she had just served her. She served her up to him, which is odd because she went through,
it's
the same thing.
It's one of these things where it harkens to just kind of like the sins of the father, that type of stuff, where I just want to make sure that we that raise kids, raise children, or around children, whatever, just kind of be aware of the things that could be generational curses that are like coming around, that people are putting on their sons and daughters and don't even know it, because there was a lot of pain there, and it was pain that didn't have to be there. And I know, it's tough to actually break a generational curse. It's not easy to be like, okay, my dad and his dad and his dad and his dad did this or whatever. But someone has to take the opportunity and actually make the effort to stop it. And one thing that I loved about this is you see her actively going into the field for like kind of like advocating for people that have gone through human trafficking, stuff like that. And you see her trying to make strides towards being like that first step, so that the daughter that she has or the son that she has will hopefully not have to deal with the type of trauma that she dealt with.
Right.
And lastly, I wanted to touch on with this one was Unless you wanted to touch on that. Did you?
Not on that particularly, but I just wanted to say that, I just remember watching, because the documentary started, they were actually filming her case, very early on when she first, was locked up for this, when she was in the juvenile system. And, they were documenting her via video, and I just was struck by how mature she was. And she just, she just struck me as a very intelligent, mature, and actually a gentle person. That's what really struck me, is like, she just, I don't know, she just came across as being very aware of herself. The way she talked about her feelings and her emotions and her experiences, she was very aware, of what was really going on with her. And I don't know, it would just seem very different. I think most of us have seen at least a clip of these shows they'll have, where they show kids in the juvenile system and they just have all this attitude, and that wasn't her. Yeah. That was not her in any way, shape, or form. So that's what really struck me about her. She was just she seemed like a very sweet, intelligent, kind person that I think got herself in a situation, and it was unfortunate the way everything happened.
And the last thing I wanted to touch on with this documentary is seeing, kind of like seeing the jury. Well, we didn't see the jury, but we saw like the people in the courtroom, and we saw the people that were on the parole board. Yeah. And none of them looked like us.
Not one.
And not one of them looked like us. And it took 12 to 15 white people to get her sentence commuted. Yeah. Plus a whole Twitter and news thing. Yeah. On top of that. So it just shows how someone how someone who made a bad decision, or no, we're not sure she made a bad decision because we don't know what that man was going to do. But someone who got caught up, all that it takes to get them out of trouble when they're black. Or when they're perceived as black, plus being a sex worker, plus, all this stuff like, oh, she's poor, she's black, she's a sex worker, there's nothing redeemable. Yeah. And then the law changes, and then all of a sudden, we want to be cool again.
Yeah, because what helped her was the law changed, because it was in Alabama, correct?
Yeah, I believe it's in Alabama.
So the law changed to say that children that were, I believe it was 16 and under, could not be considered prostitutes. So up until, a certain point, that you could consider a child a prostitute instead of a victim of sex trafficking.
You don't need a law to tell you that.
Evidently you do.
And the funny thing is, had she been this cute little Karen, then this wouldn't have happened. And it was just sad to see how much it took, because don't get me wrong, she committed the act, but I think the biggest thing that we're looking for in cases, and I know there's tons of legalese and all this, but the biggest thing we're looking for is, did you kill someone, or are you a killer? There's a difference. Did you steal something, or are you a thief? And in this case, Cyntoia Brown seemed like she killed someone, but she's not a killer. No history of violence. She seems like a sweet soul. Since she's been released from jail, you haven't heard any violent or anything about her.
Yeah, she had been in trouble before.
Yeah, she had been in trouble before.
I think it was like theft and...
Yeah, but none of it was like violent crimes.
Right.
So that's, that's one of those things that I think we should be looking for, instead of just finding a excuse to throw someone away. So yeah, I think that's where I'll leave that one. Yeah. Unless you have something. No. All right, cool. And then we have something else. Yes, Therese. Therese said, NERDSoulite been lit lately.
You don't know the half to rest. You don't know the half.
You understand.
Okay.
Look. Big shout out to Eon 001 out there across the pond. What up? What up? But we got some more Netflix stuff.
Yes. Something else. I started watching and was like, okay, this is interesting. I got to tell Michael about this. On Netflix, once again, a show called Trial by Media. It pretty much goes through different major news stories. Going back, really. I think it's mostly going back in the 80s, and it's talking about how the media affected the trial. For whatever the case was, murder or assault or whatever, and it talked about how the media had an effect on the trial. It's very interesting. Which one do you want to start with, Michael?
Let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
There's the Trial by Media is this docu-series, but let's go on and start with the Subway Man.
Okay. So in 1984, it was titled Subway Vigilante, and it was a man named Bernard Goetz, I believe that's how you pronounce it.
Bernard Goetz.
He actually shot 4 black teenagers on a New York subway in 1984. He claimed that they were trying to rob him. And so, I'll let you pick up from there, Michael.
So, the guy shoots, 4 teenagers, 4 black teenagers. He's a white guy by himself. When he does it, he jumps off the tracks, finds his way, gets out. He ends up in like Cincinnati or something.
He
disappears, but then comes back. And, I want to turn myself in. And big shout out to chat. We got Little Miss Chocolate in the house. What up? Lisa, say what up to her.
Hey, Little Miss Chocolate.
And then we got Eon 001, like I said before. Good to see all y'all. Dude comes back to New York like, I want to turn myself in. I'm the one that shot them. And at first, you got all these people in New York like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's good. You should defend yourself. Blah, blah, blah. Even NRA gets on that.
Yeah.
But they leaked this tape that he had from the DA investigation where he sits down and like gives him, his side of the story. Dude gets mad, killer, and racist all up in that tape.
He just incriminates himself up and down.
He was like, I knew when they were standing beside me, I wanted to murder them. I wanted to murder each and every one of them. And then when I shot this one, I shot that one. Then he said he shot one. And the guy that he shot, one of the guys, didn't look like he was really hurt. So he said, oh, you look like you're all right. I'll give you another. Yo, homie messed his own self up.
Well, not really. Not really.
Well, I mean, not really. Because
he got off.
Dude still gets off. But the trip about this is the whole time throughout this, did they survive? I believe they survived.
Yes, they all survived.
They all survived. One was paralyzed, right?
Yes, he was paralyzed, and they said that he had brain damage to the extent that he was like a child.
Yeah. And the trip with this is that the whole time the guardian angels of New York that are black and Latino are protecting this guy on some you gotta protect yourself. Yeah, it's on Netflix. You gotta watch it. It's crazy.
And the thing is, it was cool for them to do that at first.
But
as more information came out,
and he got, they should have been like, we out.
As his foot went further down his throat, you would have thought they would have been like, hold up. But they never did. I don't get it.
Yeah. So he basically shot these guys because he had gotten robbed before. And since he had gotten robbed before, he didn't like people being close to him. That's essentially why he shot those guys.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. He said he thought there was, he thought he was about to get, he was about to get robbed. And he felt the pressure. But then when they went through and did the investigation, he was like, yo, the people weren't even standing around you like this. Like one dude was sitting across from you. So the way he set it up wasn't even how it went down. So it's just a trip how he had this whole city up in a frenzy.
Yeah.
And the way the news carried it was just unreal.
Yeah.
And the more and more racist he got, the more and more like NRA started to pull back a little bit.
Yeah. And
like,
this
like everyone's like, this happened back in 1984.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needed an excuse to shoot some black dudes. And he got it.
And he got off on the charges. However, there was a civil case where one of the young men's family sued him, and they won the case technically, but they said to this day that family has never seen a penny.
Yeah, because the dude is. The dude's gonna make sure he doesn't pay them.
Yeah, because they said he filed bankruptcy right after, and he was like a neuroscientist.
He was like a neuroscientist or astrophysicist or something.
Something crazy.
Eon said, "Oh, okay, before camera phones and decent CCTV." Yep. Yeah, because back then cameras was not the flavor. No, back then.
You get a Polaroid. That's about it.
Yeah, had that old crusty camera. So that's one case. Then there's another case that they show, which is of Amadou Diallo.
Yeah.
And unless you don't know, Amadou Diallo was an African immigrant from Gambia. Was he from Gambia? I can't remember exactly where he was from. Please forgive me. I believe he was from Gambia, but I can't remember. So Amadou Diallo comes over to New York. He's living his life, doing his thing, just being himself. He's going home one day, and these police roll up on him, shoot him 41 times, or shoot at him 41 times. I think they hit him 19
times, yes.
So they shoot him. The trip on this is it creates a stir. Of course, black people out there. You got what's his name, Al Sharpton out there. People are protesting. All that. That's cool. The trip on this video or this story is when his mother comes over. Mm-hmm. The police immediately intercept her and take her to like this fly pit house in Lower Manhattan, and like taking care of all her needs and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, look at how they trying to sway. They think they slick. Yeah, they're gonna because think about it. Without her knowledge of American racism, she'd be like, nah, man, the police were nice. The police, this has to be a misunderstanding or something like that. Until Al Sharpton said, no, I'll go get my sister and I'll download her on the data banks. And then she was like, oh, okay, so now I know what's up.
And she was like,
that was just dirty.
Yeah, because Al Sharpton was like, thank y'all very much. But we got her, whatever she needs, we will take care of.
We don't need none of y'all help.
And I was like, yes.
Yo, it was just funny how you go kill somebody's son and then all quick to pick her up from the airport. You know what I'm saying? Pick her up from the airport, put her up in a nice hotel. Nah, bruh, you ain't because normally what the system will do is try to find as many of us. Usually it's about one, but every now and then they'll get 2 or 3 where they can say, see, black people are okay with this.
Right.
What are they upset about? Right. We found one out of millions that is okay with this.
Right.
So what they meant to do is to essentially delegitimize their movement by having the mother on their side. And I'm glad it didn't work out for them. Yeah. But I guess the last story.
Oh, but the outcome, of that is the cops did get off.
Yeah. Oh, I assume Amadou Diallo was a huge case. So, yeah. But I know some of y'all might have been born in the year 2000. So,
yeah, this happened in 99.
Yeah, this happened in 99. So, yes, sorry. I lived through it, but there's no guarantee that all you guys did. So, all of the police got off. All of them. There won't even, not a scratch. And this is during Giuliani's New York. Eon 001 said, is Joe Biden on the list of talking points? I need to hear from my American brothers and sisters.
I didn't do any research on him today.
I saw him trending, right? But I didn't look into it. Today has been a crazy day. Plus,
yeah,
I had to go out.
I saw that he, said something, but I couldn't find the exact quote. I only saw.
I'll tee up the next story, and you check and see if you can find. So, all right, trial by media. There's a third story, and now there's like 6 or 7 episodes, but there's a third story in here about Health South. And Health South, this guy, he makes this, health service, kind of like medical service company. Everything goes great, right? But he's been cooking the books. All right, so he's been cooking the books for years. So gets in trouble. Here comes the SEC and the FBI, whoever, and they want to take him to court. They're like, "Yo, you've been fronting. You know what I'm saying? We got all your CFO and everybody. They turning on you. Now we want you to go to jail." So he looks around. He's like, "Yo, man, I need some lawyers." This black lawyer decides. I know how to get you the win. He says, all right, white people are mad at you. And this is a white man. He's like, white people are mad at you. But I, black lawyer, know that the black community, they're not happy or mad with you. They're indifferent. But we know how to get them on your side. And the thing that hurt so much watching this is how pleased that brother was with himself at being able to get the black community on this guy's side. He was like, I'm black. I know how to get them. And there was just something about it that was just, it was slimy, it was dirty, and it was sad at the same time. So, you know what he did? They're in the South. So what he did? He took the guy to church. He has him sitting on the front row, has him sitting in the pulpit. He's giving money to the church. He's standing beside black deacons and church members and other black leaders. He's giving away money to black people, all kinds of stuff. And when you got Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff, and you got mad money to money to blow, with people that are living paycheck to paycheck, they're gonna be like, yo, man, this guy just blessed me. He just hooked me up. This guy's a good guy. And he gets everybody on his side thinking that he's a good man. All these CFOs done turned on him, but he's a good guy. He ain't know no better. He's a CEO, not the CFO. How is he gonna know about all these numbers and everything? It was all them. And this poor man, this God-fearing poor man, has been put upon in this court.
This God-fearing poor man that ain't never visited your church, ever before. And all of a sudden.
They happen to have the pastor up in there in the documentary too.
Look, let me say this. Because, and I've said this to you before, I am so sick and tired of black people acting like we have to be the ones to usher everybody to Jesus.
Thank you.
And I say that as a Christian. Okay?
Right. You know who Jesus is.
You know who Jesus. Don't use me. And that's the thing is black people, we allow ourselves to be used and put upon when people are trying to take advantage of us. And we say, oh, but what would Jesus do? Jesus would use discernment. That's what Jesus would do. Jesus would say, I will pray for you. That's what Jesus would do. And
Jesus would straight talk.
Okay.
He wasn't playing around. He would straight talk on you.
I couldn't feel sorry for the pastor at all. Nope. Because in the end, after everything went down,
what he said at the end?
He said, "This is your church home, and you can always come back." And then he said, "We didn't see him much after that." Of course,
of course you didn't.
Of course you didn't,
because he wasn't there to receive the word. He wasn't there to learn. He wasn't there to be a part of the services. He was there to be able to use you as a shield to say, "Look, black people like me." You know what I'm saying? It's man.
And I said, I wonder how many members left because of this foolishness. Because I'm sure that had to be some members that are like, what are you doing? Why are we doing this?
It's crazy. Now, real quick, did you find out what Joe Biden said?
Yes, I did.
Okay, read it out. But real quick, I want to go to the chat. Eon001 said, if the Punisher was real, how would he respond to police brutality, corruption, and racism in the police force? I'll touch on that after this one. I'll touch on this after this. All right. What did Joe Biden? What did Joe Crime Bill Biden do?
Okay, so he was on an interview with Charlemagne the God.
Oh no!
And
all right, it's already.
Let me get to. I want to quote him. I want to make sure I get him. He said, "Quote: If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black." That's what Mr. Biden said.
All right. Shout to the chat, Marquise Collins. I want you to read that quote again because it might be wrong. Refresh your browser.
Oh, no, it's right. It's right. Quote: If you have a problem, and this is from New York Times, okay? This ain't from like
with
black.
Charlemagne the God.
It ain't from blackpeople.com.
AKA Monique Charlemagne. You know what I'm saying?
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't. And he said ain't black. Now.
All right, you know what? Did Charlemagne say anything after that?
Hold on. Let me. It's not going into what Charlemagne said.
Okay.
There's a video link, but of course, you know.
Yeah, we can't get on the video link right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man. Oh, okay. All right. Let's unpack this. You know what? Matter of fact, I want to know your thoughts first. Ladies first.
My first thought was, he ain't wrong. It just won't for him to say. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about it. He ain't wrong. It won't your place to say, Mr. Biden, because the truth be told, what it comes down to is anybody could have been running. Donald Duck could have been running, and we're going to vote for him versus Trump. So don't get all high and mighty because you ain't our favorite person either, because we ain't forgot everything that you've said and done. Boop.
Yeah.
So.
And all the women you done touched and all the black people you put in jail.
You creepy.
All the black people you done put in jail.
We just, at this point, we are against the wall. That's what it comes down to. We are really, we're backed into a corner, and we just really need to get Trump out of office. And that's what it comes down to, and again, it sounds crazy, but it's like what he said went wrong. He was just wrong for saying it because it wasn't his place to say it. Yeah. As this creepy white man.
Without the video, he might have been, Eon said, pandering at its highest. Man thought he was doing some stand-up comedy. Take a seat. Little Miss Chocolate said he just threw away the election. What an idiot. There's a lot to unpack here, so I'm going to try to unpack it. I'm going to try to go slow because I know Joe Biden, he's not too quick, so I'm going to try to go slow. All right. He said if you have trouble figuring out who you're for. Which one? How was the line though?
Let me go back. He said, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
All right. Here's the thing. We don't like neither of y'all.
Thank you.
Let me be clear to Joe Biden and the Bidenettes. Or whoever Biden wants to run with, whether it's Kamala Harris, ain't nobody feeling her neither.
He not running with her.
Or Klobuchar, ain't nobody feeling her neither. Let me make it clear to you. Don't nobody like you. Don't nobody like neither of y'all. Don't act like for me or Trump, like there's this huge difference. Both of you run in the same circles. Don't act like you don't. Oh, because somebody will kill me with an axe and somebody will kill me with a machete, I'm supposed to be happy? Did Donald Trump put the crime bill together?
No.
Did Donald Trump vote for the disparity in sentencing? No. That was you, Joe Biden. So how in the world are you trying to go on this, I don't know, Kings of Comedy tour, going and talking to Charlemagne? Charlemagne should have never gave you that platform in the first place. But
Well, no, I disagree with that, because if this is somebody running, we still need to talk to them about, that still stands. That still stands.
I mean, do we though?
I mean, I'm sorry, it does.
Come on. He's been around long enough. We know. Biden is not giving us nothing. He ain't talking about no reform. He ain't talking about no reparations. He ain't talking about putting police in jail. He ain't talking about none of that. So why are we even entertaining him? Why? Why are we wasting our time? Joe Biden, you're a joke. Just because you're running against a joke doesn't mean you have a shot.
Oh, he has a shot. Look.
But does it matter? Let me be real with you. White people been all mad about Trump, Trumpity Trump. Black people, guess what, y'all? Look at me. We've made it through another one. Through Reagan, through Bush. Now we made it through another one. Don't have Joe Biden forcing you to vote for him because you scared of Trump.
Well, who else we gonna vote for?
Not saying that you should vote for Trump. I am not saying that. What I'm saying is sometimes you need to withhold your vote or withhold your support for the system in general.
I totally disagree.
People, and this is what I'm saying on this. Because Joe Biden thinks that he can just jump up and say, well, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And we're going to be like, yeah, you right, Biden. Somebody shouldn't get our support that acts like that. It is not your... You don't decide what black is. Maybe the black delegation, after a month of intense talks, yes, we can decide what black is. But you, Rachel Dolezal, whoever on the news, New York Times, CNN, y'all don't decide who's black and who ain't. And for you to say something like this, you're begging me to not vote for you. And I know I'm not voting for Trump.
But you do
understand where you at now.
But you do
look at how dumb you are.
But you do understand. This is part of how we got into the situation with Trump. Now
and I know what you're about to say. I feel you. I feel you.
Okay, so this is part of how we got into the situation with Trump. Now, did he have some other help? Quote, help to get in there? Yes.
Russian help.
However, studies already show
Russian assistance.
Studies already show that black people did not show up to the polls like we should have shown up to the polls for this last election.
And I get you. I feel you.
Okay.
I do.
So what I'm saying is, despite the thing is this, we can't get caught up in our feelings, because the bottom line is this. I know that it's choosing the lesser evil, but when Trump is at the tippity top in terms of evil, we need to remove this man. I'm sorry. Okay. That's how I feel. He just needs to be out.
Now, and I see what you're saying, but I think too many times the system fools us and tricks us into being scared. Oh, be scared of Reagan. You got to vote like this. Oh, be scared of Bush. You got to vote like that. Oh, be scared of John McCain. You got to vote like this. Oh, be scared of whoever, Mitt Romney, whoever, Trump. You got to be scared of them. Vote like this. Vote like that. Meanwhile, we're hopping around being scared of whoever gets elected, and we never get anything. Now, look at this. We got big bad Trump, right? Big bad Trump. We still here. Black people didn't disappear. So maybe it's time to be like, let y'all fools deal with each other, because if you want this vote, just like Jewish people, Asian people, whatever, Asian people went and got their $8.4 billion in 2 days. Meanwhile, black people got to beg for it like there's a real reason, there's a real reason to argue against it. But I do see where you're coming from. Not voting is not the answer. But that doesn't mean that we have to vote for the presidential election. There are other elections that I think that we should vote for.
It's not an either or. It's not an either or. You should vote for all of them. You should vote in all elections.
But all right, here's my thing. Even say if I was to vote for Biden, I vote for Biden, and Biden wins, and the identity will be like, oh well, look at all the support Biden got, and he got it from the black community, and the only story will happen is the black community rallied behind Joe Biden. They won't say black people had nowhere else to go. No, the story will be, oh, look at all the support from the black community for Joe Biden. It's like, we never supported him. We never cared about him. I don't care
what they say.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this is what allows their system to continue on. And not saying that I have the answer, But sometime when people keep playing with your lives as if it's the doomsday, and the doomsday never comes, but you continue voting the way they want you to vote, sometimes you need to remove yourself from the chessboard and assess a couple things before you come back and start playing again. Because this type of mess, he done lost his mind. Now, at the same time, am I surprised? No. Biden is not only racist, he's also super old and he's out of touch. Which means that since he's super old, he's trying to relate. He's trying to, I'll say something, gotcha. And everybody will have me trending for the wrong reasons. I'm not sure I can tell anybody how to vote. I don't know. I don't know. But I am sick of the kind of like, oh, well, if you don't know if you're for me or for Trump, who said y'all that different? Okay, let's look. Super rich, check for both of y'all. Rich friends, check for both of y'all. Friends that are pedophiles and there's some funny stuff going on, check for both of y'all. Both of y'all getting too handsy and feely with women, check for both of y'all, at least on the rumored cases thing. So we're constantly, bring that over here. Bring that. We're constantly seeing similarities between you, yet you want to pretend that there's some big difference. And not to say that Trump and Biden are the same. But if you want me to overlook the crime bill, which you wouldn't even sit back and be like, you know what, years later, it was kind of messed up. If you wanna sit back years later after voting for the disparity in sentencing for black and white people when it comes to the same drugs, the same offenses, and not even be like, you know what, looking back, that was a bad idea. What do you want someone in the black community to do? And then you come and smack me in my face today talking about you ain't black? Nah, bruh. You ain't black. And you don't have the place or the space to say this. And I can't believe that Charlamagne gave you a platform. But Charlamagne, I don't know, man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Maybe what is it? Radio One hired him, or not really. iHeartRadio booked it, and he just had to do it. But Biden has fast lost my. Well, yeah, he didn't have my support in the first place, but I mean, anyway, to quickly be like, no. Oh, you whack and you mo whacker. This is how you do it. You know, Biden did this. I told Lady Lisa earlier. I said this was going to be a smooth show today. I said today was going to be an easy show. It was going to be cool. Nothing was going to happen. It was going to be all good. Nothing crazy. Nothing to be mad about this show. I said it. Didn't I say that? Didn't I say that, Lisa?
And then here come Eon 001.
Yes. Let me roll to the chat for a second.
Y'all done made him pull out the sweat rag.
Yeah, y'all done made a brother sweat. All right, so to the chat, Booksworthy said this is the worst timeline. Joe is a fool. He's lucky he is much more preferable than the Trump administration. But then again, it's a low bar. Thank you. Yeah. We're literally arguing over mediocrity right now. That's what we're doing. Like, do you want bad food or worse food?
But and I agree.
All right, put that up.
I agree with you on all of that. The issue I have is that Trump, given the position of president that he's in, mm-hmm. and given how much of an evil idiot he is, he can get us in some really bad spaces and situations. I mean, don't forget, we thought at one point that him running his mouth was going to get us blown up, literally.
Yeah.
So in terms of stuff like that, that's really more the issue. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with everything you're saying, but because he's so to the extreme and he's such an idiot, he's he's a narcissist. He's the whole list that makes him just dangerous. That's my whole issue.
Okay. And I see where you're going. I'll touch on that in a second. So Fox 2 Sock says he has nothing on the table for us. When Charlamagne asked, what's he going to do for us? This man started rambling about MLK. Oh God. He's taking the black vote for granted. Yeah, that's another thing. Democrats in general just assume black people are going to vote for him because they've played the devil you know or the lesser of two evils card forever. One, we need to get out of this two-party system. We need some more. We need other parties. Two, we need some black people to run. Now, NERDSoul 2020, I'm sorry, I can't run. All right? I can't run. I love to run, but come on, man. Look, I'm already too late for all the fundraising dinners. All right? But, yo, a fundraising dinner with me would actually be pretty cool, man. I have an ill cabinet. Yo, look, hey, I have a dope presidency.
Why do I feel like that would be a scene from you already know where I'm going. I can't think of his name.
What, a scene from what, Head of State?
No. Shoot.
All right, so Eon 001 said Trump is gonna win again, which I assume. Just prepare for the storm. Yeah, Eon 001 said, who's the third option? We don't have a third option in America. In America is a two-party system. They've locked it that way because when you have a two-party system, you can play both sides against the middle, and then you really don't have to change anything. If you look at Democratic presidencies, Republican presidencies, things do move, but not so far that rich people get uncomfortable. Then let's see. Therese said, I won't vote at the end of it. We all going to take a hit. It don't matter how severe it is or not. It's still a hit. Yeah, it's tough to try to contextualize. What up, Tay 2020? Tay 2020. That's who should be president. It's tough to try to contextualize the consistent danger we're in. But the fact that we are still surviving, even in this climate, with me seeing that we're surviving in this climate, it's going to take more than you just fear-mongering me to get to vote for you. Or you trying to attack my identity, even if you're joking about it, to get to vote for you. And then when Fox 2 Sox pointed out that he started rambling about MLK, what MLK got to do with today? What MLK fought for, you and people of your ilk have worked to dismantle and walk back. So what are you going to do today, tomorrow, and next month, and next year? What are you going to do? What are you going to do for me, my wife, my son here? Is it anything? If it's nothing, then get out my face. I ain't got nothing to say to you. I'm sorry. Joe Biden was already whack. And I think Joe Biden had that black friend too long that he got comfortable. He had Obama too long and made him think he was cool just because he took off a scarf, getting out of the whip looking cool. He think that he could just roll up on us any type of way.
He was backed by our former president Barack Obama.
He was. But do you see Barack Obama anywhere now? You see how he slid?
I mean, but he slid to the mic and was like, I endorse, Biden for president.
Yeah, it's disheartening to have to end the show like this. I wanted to end the show happy, guys. I wanted to end the show happy. See what happens. Joe Biden goes say something. Then I have to hear what he said. If he would have just been like, hey guys, you should vote for me because I got great ideas and I'm better than what you got now. Ideas, and I'm gonna do things like this, and like this. Listed out a couple things and just hushed. This fool started talking about you ain't black. Yo, man, look. Alright, that's it. We at time. Look, I love all y'all. Alright? Y'all, look, stay safe. Wear your gloves. Wear your mask. Separate your clothes when you come back. Wash your hands thoroughly. Wash up your arm thoroughly. You know what I'm saying? Unless you were wearing a long sleeve shirt or something like that. Make sure, like I said, look in your locality for being open carry and concealed carry. Make sure you get yourself some protection, some personal protection that's more than just a face mask. There's black gun stores all around the nation. You can find Let the Dollar Circulate. And besides that, man, look.
Yeah, and piggybacking on that, because this is the thing, because some people some people have been like, oh, that's not the answer to get a gun.
Oh, yeah, we'll touch on that.
Let me just finish this, because it's piggybacking on what you just said.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me say this. Breonna Taylor is dead. Rest in peace. Mm-hmm. But her boyfriend, Kenneth, ain't. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I want to end on this. And this is not to dog out this commenter. We had a commenter that said, see if I can find it. All right, the commenter came in referring, and this is talking about Breonna Taylor and Kenneth Walker, and I was on the line, going down the line of, we need to have guns to protect ourselves, keep them on our person to be able to defend ourselves in situations like this. So the commenter said, let's see, where is it? Oh no, this is the last, this wasn't the last video. This is the video before that one. That's where it was. So she said, or he said, that it wasn't really about the guns that really need to be handled, that we don't need guns because we're essentially giving them a reason.
We don't need to give them a reason. They've made up reasons.
So the commenter said, just carrying a gun can become the excuse to shoot you dead. They'll claim you drew on them. It's also worth considering a body camera sending image and audio to the cloud, announce that you are recording, that they recording what they are doing, and saying, and that will get these cowards to think again. Remember, from the Rodney King era to Ahmaud Arbery, video equals evidence. Now, I am not against body cameras at all. We have been able to film some people and at least get them to back off. But as you've seen lately, with the young man that was in the delivery truck, filming did nothing to back them off. Also, film for Rodney King did not change the situation. They did not go to jail.
Film for anybody
filming
has not changed
for
the situation.
Ahmaud Arbery did not particularly change the situation yet. But there is enough film of black people being harmed and killed from the 90s to now to prove that video is not enough.
No.
I am much happier to know that Kenneth Walker is alive.
Yeah.
Do I wish that Breonna was too? Yes, I do. But I sure enough wish that brother Ahmaud Arbery had a gun on him and was able to return in kind the same force that was levied upon him.
Right. Because the thing is this too.
A camera is not equal to a gun when you're a black person.
Because then this is too, because when we want to keep talking about, record, you're still being passive. And what I mean by that is this. When you say we're going to record, that means I'm going to record it and give it to the powers that be in hopes
that maybe that they will viral moment will stir.
Right? So that's what I mean by being passive. You're putting it in their hands. Well, we don't need to be putting nothing in their hands no more.
Yeah.
We
need to take the power into our hands that is available.
We have to protect ourselves. We're looking for the government.
Because the camera is not going to do it.
Yeah, we're looking.
We've had evidence up and down the wazoo.
Yeah, we're looking for the government to protect us, and I know their laws are supposed to, but their laws were not ever. Let's get this straight.
We were never meant to be free.
Their laws were never made for us.
Thank you.
I know people are like, oh well, no, it's true. Their laws were never made for us. I don't care how much they rewrite their laws. I don't care if they erase it, burn the whole thing, and write it again. No matter what they write, no matter what the laws say, if they are not willing to actually follow through and follow their own laws to protect us, no written law means a thing. Yeah. Not a thing.
And apply the punishments fairly and flatly across the board. For instance, we had the Aunt Becky cheating to get her kid in school. Nothing is a slap on the wrist. Meanwhile, black mother gets her kid into a school. She got to go to jail. She got to do hard time. So I'm with you. I understand. You might have a thing against guns. You might not want to be alarmist. You might not want to be antagonistic. You might not want to be aggressive. I understand it. I get you. But let me make this clear. A camera is not equal to a gun. A camera has been used multiple times with no response and no reaction. We usually get a social reaction, but no actual change in policy, no actual change in practice. People, please protect yourself. This situation with Breonna Taylor, due to the fact that they're both not dead, means that now we can talk to Kenneth Walker. Now, when we go to court, unlike Amadou Diallo, someone's able to say, no, I was there. This is what happened.
So this case is extremely important.
Yes, because now we're not talking to a brother that's going to hug them and give them a Bible. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking, or excuse me, the judge did that. Let me be clear. But we're not talking to some distant family member. No, we're talking to someone who was there and survived.
And
against their plans and plots. So please, I know many of you may have an aversion to weaponry. You may have an aversion to guns. I'm not saying you got to be Rambo, but I am saying you need to protect yourself. This Corona timeline is changing many of us, and it's changing many people that don't look like you, and is making them antsy and emboldening them to do things that I believe they've wanted to do for some time. And when I say that, I think these people have probably watched The Purge one too many times. And a camera saying, "Sir, I'm filming you," isn't as good as when they pull out a gun or when they gang up on you, you can draw a weapon and say, "Please, step back, because I'm not speaking any further." It's a lot different. So I'm not saying that, and matter of fact, I'm not even going to say that, because people understand. People aren't stupid.
Right.
And this is not to diss that commenter, but what I'm saying is cameras simply aren't enough. They're not.
It's not to diss the commenter, but it's to diss the comment.
Yeah. It's simply not enough. It's literally not enough. It's not going to work. So you ready to go?
Yeah.
You finished?
Yeah.
You got anything to say?
Yeah.
Tell them what's up.
What's up?
So guys, before we get out of here, Lisa, say what's up.
What's up, y'all? Bye.
Oh man. So from us to you, thank you for watching. Big shout out to everybody. From the top, we got Tay 2020, Markeith Collins, Little Miss Chocolate, Eon 001, Fox 2 Socks.
Say I go try that one.
Boogsworthy.
Book.
Alan Lewis. Shot by Nolan. Therese.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's it. I think we got everybody. So guys, hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. Hit the thumbs down if you don't. But hey, look, I'm watching.
Say thumbs up, Mikey.
Thumbs up.
That's
say
right.
thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
That's right.
So, guys, thank you for chilling with us. From us to you, stay safe. Seriously, stay safe. Seriously, look up that information in your area. Open and concealed carry. Look up that information in your area because it's not hard to find. And getting this stuff is not hard to get. If it's too expensive, there are pawn shops that sell guns as well. There's Walmarts that sell guns. Just protect yourself. In Jesus' name. So, guys, from us to you, thank you for chilling. And you ready?
Yeah.
Peace. 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 A peace. Peace. A peace. A peace. A peace. Peace. What? A peace. A peace. A peace. Peace. A peace. A peace. A peace. Peace. Say Arcatron. Arcatron. All right, y'all. We out. Peace.